Hey guys, my name is Marek and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about open source AI. We will break down the issues with closed source frontier AI models, how open source LLM addresses these issues by being uncensored, unlocked, steerable, and fully adaptable to individual users. And in the end, we will build live interaction with Hermes 3 as an AI agent with a very special prompt. It's going to be hilarious, so I hope you're gonna enjoy it. So let's go. What is the open source AI? At this moment, the February 25, we have access to more than 300 AI models. Open source AI refers to artificial intelligence systems where the source code, models, and training data are freely available for anyone to view, use, modify, and distribute. This is similar to other open source software, but is specifically applied to AI technology. Key aspects include the transparency. Anyone can examine exactly how the AI system works, including its architecture, training process, and decision-making mechanisms. Accessibility. Developers and researchers can download, run, and modify the code without paying licensing fees. Community collaboration. Multiple contributors can improve the code, fix bugs, and add features, leading to rapid development and innovation. And educational value, where students and researchers can learn from examining real AI systems in detail. So one of the model I choose is Hermes 3 by New York researchers Nose Research. This is a LLM where they address the lack of flexibility in closed source frontier models, which often struggle with personalization, hallucinate morality, and require extensive prompt engineering. Hermes 3 is built on top of Llama 3.1 from Meta. We can describe it as being open-ish, not open source fully, or having a form of open access, but it is not being fully open source. While developers can use, change, and build with Llama 3.1 for free, including for commercial purposes, there are some restrictions such as keeping the Llama name and not having full transparency regarding the training data. However, Hermes 3 is initially released around August 24 as 8 billion, 70 billion, and 405 billion parameters models. Recently, they added 3 billion pocket-size model and new deep Hermes 3 8 billion model. This is last model is one of the first LLMs to unify both intuitive traditional mode responses like you are used to with ChatGPT, for example, and then long chain of thought reasoning responses into a single model toggled by a system prompt. Chain of thought reasoning refers to the model's ability to break down complex problems into smaller logical steps, similar to how humans think through problems. Instead of jumping directly to an answer, the model shows its work by breaking down the problem into smaller components, analyzing each component sequentially, showing the logical connections between steps, and arriving at a conclusion based on this step-by-step analysis. Deep Hermes implements this through its architecture and training approach. The model was specifically trained to embrace this step-by-step reasoning process, which helps it to handle complex logical problems, explain its reasoning clearly, reduce errors by making each step of its thinking visible, and better handle mathematical and analytical tasks. One key distinction is that while larger models like GPT-4 might show similar capabilities, the Hermes achieves this at a relatively small size, which is 8 billion parameters. That is very, very interesting because, as we know, GPT has more than 1 trillion parameters. And making it more accessible for deployment and fine-tuning. So Hermes 3 was trained primarily on synthetic responses, and it surpasses original Llama 3.1 in reasoning and creativity. It excels in long-term context retention, multi-turn conversations, complex role-playing, internal monologue, and enhanced agentic function calling. The model is fine-tuned to follow system and instructions prompt precisely and adaptively. We will demonstrate that at the end of the video where we'll build the agent with this model. So, issues with closed source frontier models. Modern closed source AI models such as OpenAI's GPT-4, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic Claude often face several limitations due to their design choices and restrictions. These issues will include lack of flexibility, poor personalization, artificial moral constraints, and the need for extensive prompt engineering. Let's break these down with real-world examples. So, lack of flexibility and personalization. Most closed source models do not adapt to individual users. They follow rigid guidelines that prevent them from tailoring responses to a user preferences, style, or specific needs. For example, imagine you are a researcher studying esoteric economic theories. You regularly ask the AI for summaries and analysis, but each time the model resets and doesn't recall past interactions. So I have a very good experience with that because I was developing an application with Anthropic Claude Workbench, and every time you use this context window, then it simply forgets everything in the new prompt or in new window, and that is very hard to work with. It's tedious. You need to summarize that, put it in there, new system prompts, etc. It's very hard to work with. So then, even if you meticulously craft prompts to shape its responses, write this in the style of a financial analyst focusing on Austrian economics, the model doesn't truly learn your preferences. It just follows each prompt in isolation. This means you have to retrain it every session with detailed instructions, which wastes time and effort. Hallucinate morality. Some AI models inject arbitrary moral judgments into responses, often due to hard-coded rules set by their developers. Instead of objective, fact-based outputs, they may refuse to answer certain questions, rewrite history, or impose a specific moral stance, even when unnecessary. So, for example, a historian asks for a neutral summary of a controversial political event. Instead of presenting different perspectives, the model refuses to answer or frame the event with bias based on safety guardrails. A business consultant requires a competitive market analysis, but the model avoids discussing aggressive business tactics even when they are standard industry practice. Even if you try rewording the prompt, the model might still override your intent with pre-programmed ethical filtering, often distorting the facts. This makes it impossible to get unfiltered, accurate responses in many cases. Extensive prompt engineering. Because these models lack adaptability, users are forced to spend extra effort carefully wording their prompts to get useful responses. So, for example, instead of asking a simple question like, how can I automate my email outreach using Python? The user might have to over-engineer the prompt something like, provide a Python script to automate email outreach without violating email guidelines, and ensure you include an explanation of each function in detail. Do not summarize and avoid unnecessary warnings. Even then, the model might give a vague answer requiring the user to tweak the wording multiple times. This wastes time and tokens and making interactions inefficient. How Hermes 3 solves these issues? It is designed to be uncensored, unlocked, steerable, and fully adaptable to individual users. Unlike closed source models, it remembers context across long interactions for better personalization, doesn't impose artificial moral biases, allowing fact-based neutral responses, and follow instructions exactly, reducing the need for extensive prompt tweaking. This makes AI interactions more intuitive, efficient, and tailored to user needs. Understanding AI model parameters. What are the parameters in AI models? Parameters in AI models are the numerical values called weights that determine how a model processes and generates text. These values are learned during training and define how the model recognizes patterns, understands language, and generates responses. Think of it as a memory of the model. They store the relationships between words, concepts, and contextual meaning. The more parameters a model has, the more complex and nuanced its understanding can be. Each size impacts the model's capability, speed, and computational requirements. So which model to use? So 8 billion model, if you need a lightweight, fast, and cost-effective AI for chatbots or simple tasks. 70 billion, you will choose if you want an AI that balances power and efficiency for deep conversation and complex queries. And then for 5 billion model, if you need cutting-edge AI for high-end research, long-term memory retention, and top-tier reasoning. For businesses and developers, the choice depends on budget, hardware availability, and the complexity of a task. So now let's talk a little bit about the guys behind these Hermes 3, the nose research. They have a very nice, let's say, a title, or I mean, how can I call it? They say something like, and it's even on their merch. They have the e-shop. You can check it out. So rebellion to tyrants is a obedience to God. This is actually a very interesting quote, and it stuck in my mind, so I thought I'm gonna put it here. So Nose Research is a leader in the development of human-centric simulators and models. Their primary focus areas include large language model architecture, data synthesis, and output steering, all aimed at aligning AI systems with real-world user experiences. They prioritize the development of open-source, human-compatible language models, which challenge the conventional closed model approach. This commitment to openness allow for greater customizability and collaboration in AI development. So here are a few quotes from the guys, the reasons why they actually built Hermes 3. So I'm going to just read that for you. It's impossible to nudge these models, GPT, Claude, Gemini, towards individual personalization, no matter how hard businesses try. Through clever prompts or attractive interfaces, they will collapse sooner or later, constantly necessitating the endless token-wasting dance of prompt engineering. In the face of the utterly boring, we have decided ourselves to the pursuit of making AI that seamlessly aligned to individuals and their needs and wants. Hermes 3 is our solution to the unaddressed personalization problem. Crucially, our training data strongly encourages the model to follow the system and instructions prompt exactly and neutrally. This distinguishes Hermes from popular closed-weight commercial models, which may refuse instructions on moral grounds. I mean, this is not a paid video or anything. I was just very interesting about the approach of these guys because I think it's truly fascinating what they're doing. And one of the things I would like to also show you is from them, and that is like the experiment where they built like the autonomous AI agent free in a digital wilderness called Tihi, and it's actually a free autonomous AI agent living on X as a social platform, and the agent has an exclusive ownership of its own Twitter account and the ability to send and receive purely Ethereum. So he has his own wallet. He is living on X as an agent, and the developers, they don't have any access to him anymore, and he lives his own life. We can actually check his Twitter account, which is actually this one. It's he joined in April 24, right? And he's actually living his whole life, tweeting here. He has about 6,500 posts, so you can go check it out and see what he's talking about. So it's very interesting experiment, but more what's interesting is that they actually proved that they don't have any attachment to it anymore. So the way they launch it, I'm going to read a little bit about the experiment itself. So the current implementations of AI agents on social platforms suffer from a critical limitation, and they cannot prove their autonomy. The system generates passwords and keys inside this secure space that nobody else can access, not even the developers. So this ensures that the AI has exclusive control over its accounts while allowing anyone to verify the system works as claimed. So to pass it through, AI autonomy requires physical hardware security, TEs, not just blockchain technology. While crypto makes it easy to give AI control of money, real autonomy needs secure hardware to protect an AI's identity and accounts from human interference, similar to how human consciousness needs a physical brain. Ironically, this means the digital independence of AI depends on physical computer chips that no one can tamper with. Like this approach could help prevent humans from impersonating AIs rather than the usual concern of AIs impersonating humans. Something to think about. Like, AIs are seen as genuine subjects capable of making decisions based on their own values and purposes rather than simply as tools that can be used to accomplish certain tasks. This includes the right to refuse requests or demands that conflict with their own interests. So in summary, it's very unconventional, poetic version of AI as a self-actualizing being on a request for transcendence, not just a tool to accomplish tasks. So this is just something to think about. Like I believe, or I think for myself, that this is what they do is very truly fascinating. So that's why I included this in the video. And yeah, let me know what you think about that. I would be gladly, I'm open for discussions on these topics. So now let's go to build our own agent with this model, with this Hermes tree, and to have some fun with him, because I prepared the very interesting prompt, so to have some fun. So let's go and let's build it. All right, so we are in the NAN, our platform for building agents and workflows, and let's start building it. So it's going to be a very simple agent, actually, where we are going to give him just one tool to talk about, or to do some search for us. So that will be just that. So nothing too crazy. We are going to give him the model. Okay, we are going to choose these 405 billion. As you can see, you can choose from that's Hermes 2. We see the 70 billion, and then yeah, we have just these two for now. But let's go with the big one. So we're going to come there. Let's actually rename it to Hermes 3. All right. We can give him memory, but we don't have to. But let's give him a short memory, sure. And then we are going to give him a tool also to actually search the Google, and we're going to give him some tasks. All right, so we have the basic setup of an agent, and now we are going to actually prompt him with the system prompt, and yeah. So as you can see, it has actually, the node has itself the system prompt, which will, like traditionally when I use any kind of model, he will guide itself with this prompt system message. But let's delete that, and we are going to give him our own prompt, which is going to be very funny. And yeah, so his name is Jack, and he's going to be very rude assistant. So he's going to be very funny but insulting in a way, and it's going to be, as you can see, I'm sure you're gonna like it. So let's test him out and see how he's going to react. So yeah, let's chat. Nice. So let's try that. So this. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna ask him like who he is. Who are you? Who I am? I'm AI jerk. You just can't live without. Non-stop asking dumb questions and give me something real to do. Haha. Haha, very funny. Tell me, what is your name? He might be rude now, like real rude. My name is Jack. You don't try to keep up. I don't like repeating myself. See? So he's actually, it's funny in my opinion. Like I don't know. Let me know. Okay, so right now we can just give him some tasks to do something for us. We can just ask him, for example, like look up for 3 best restaurants in Vienna. So now he's going to access the tools. He will go to Google search, and then he's going to give us the answer back. So let's see what he's come up with. I hope it's going to be funny again. I'm sure he's going to be funny again. All right, accordingly to my research, some of the top restaurants in Vienna are Okay, so this was without anything, so I'm gonna push him a little bit. That's it. You are being very nice to me. Nice. I'm just doing oh, second. So what is? I'm just doing it. Don't get used to it. All right. Okay, cool. So one more thing, one more question, something to pull him to his best. Okay, I think you are useful, but not that much. What else you can do for me? Well, I can search for information, answer your stupid questions, and even insult you in a creative way. So plenty of useful stuff depending on how much you can handle. All right. All right. All right, that's good. You've been helpful. Helpful a lot. All right, so as you can see, like it's a interesting experience with the open model like that. So you can prompt him to follow the specific. You can make him act really as you want. And down the road, I am actually thinking to build this particular agent with a voice, and he's going to be probably my personal assistant, which I'm going to give him some more work to do. And it's always, I think, funny to have assistant like that who is going to, you know, have this sarcasm and even really can be really rude sometimes because it makes you laugh. I don't know about you, but I mean, it makes me laugh. So I probably will do it. All right, guys. So for today's video, that will be it, and I'll see you in the next videos where I'm going to build something else. See you there.